Italy and South Africa, folks. Apologies. I have just belatedly caught up on this one. It was played at like 1:40 in the morning my time, so missed it live. I did see the score before I watched the game, and my initial reaction was, 32-14. That's a bit closer than expected. Maybe Russie's, big changes to the squad affected the cohesion, and that's what kept it with the cards. Not again. Another red card. It was a big red card in last week's game with Diaco against France, and this week it's Mostert against Italy. Goodness me. I don't think Mostert's one was as bad. I thought he was really quite bent. I thought there was more of an attempt to wrap than last week, but James Dolman doesn't agree. Whether you agree or not, I'll leave that one up to you. But yeah, it's a red card for South Africa. And there were cards galore in this game, to be fair. At one stage we had, was it 14 against 13? And if they had gone real stringent on Niccolò, it could have been like 14 against 12. This was, yes, a highly carded game. But despite the cards, South Africa still win pretty comfortably. All these changes, all these substitutions, all these cards. And it's not a close game. As I said, it's closer than maybe expected, because if the Boks had kept 15 against 15, you might have expected them to blow Italy off the park. But all things considered, I think they'll be reasonably happy with the win, but not with the cards. We'll go through some of the key events and stats of the game, and then I'm off to watch Wales and Japan. We've already started that game, but it's half time. Italy, winning turnovers at the breakdown. That's one of the things we thought they might do. We saw it when they played down in South Africa. They did it early. And South Africa gone for a few high balls, which they took. Like Hannah Moody was chasing the high balls all day. So both sides kind of playing into the stereotypes to start things. And Italy were looking to get the backs into the game. A lot of dinking kicks through for Ioane and Lynagh and Capuozzo and whatnot to chase. It was a pretty high-intensity start, but no points in the first 10 minutes. It took us ages to get points in this game, to be honest. And then for the second week in a row, we get that red card. Mostert on Garbisi. As I said, he's very bent over, which I thought might play into his favour. Maybe let the review people have a look at it, but no, it's a straight red card for a second week in a row. So the Boks have got to do it, a man down once again. Italy, I swear we haven't seen full red cards for anything but elbowing and punching for ages, and yet we've seen 2 in 2 weeks at test level as well. Italy opt for the 3, but it goes wide, and that man Damian Willemse, honestly, is everywhere at the back for South Africa. What a guy. Like, he's not going to get himself on the board in this one. He's not going to get necessarily that many showings in the highlights. I don't know. I haven't seen the highlights package, but I was impressed with how he was just Mr. Everywhere in the backfield. Good on you, Damian Willemse. I love watching you play. And then Rusty starts like pulling the trigger on early substitutions. Like Porthen gets substituted what are we, like 20 minutes in? And the Italian scrum was actually like living up to the billing. I said it in the preview, I thought their scrummages, Riccioni and Fischetti, were pretty good. I think they were looking pretty good, hence Rusty pulling the trigger on some of these guys. Like Porthen went early, and Fenta didn't last much longer. Edwin van der Merwe also got pulled. Like Rusty was making changes where he wanted to see changes. Van der Merwe had to come back on second half when Arons failed in HIA, but was it failed or we went off? But anyway, Garbisi missed a penalty on 26 minutes. So to be fair, like for all the promising signs they were showing, for all the time with the extra man, they've had 2 shots a goal and no points to show for it. Then Pollard looked to have got the first points through a drop goal, which did go over, which started with a free kick at the Italian scrum, and then they kind of penalty conceded on their own line out, but then they chalked off the drop goal and went back for a South African penalty, which they kicked anyway. So South Africa gets the first points on the board, and we're like 32 minutes into the game. So it took a wee while to get the points going. We had a red card before we had a single point. 3 points to 0. Italy did win a scrum penalty on 36 minutes right out in front to get themselves on the board to make it 3 points to 3. And on 40 minutes after an Italian free kick at scrum time, we did see the first try of the game, Van Staden. He managed to burrow over from close range. A bit of power. South Africa with the tap and the phases showing that despite the red card, they've still got the power game to fall back on at 10 points to 3. Yeah, I mean, it's been a weird first half. You don't usually see South Africa get shunted off their own scrum, which happened earlier on. You don't usually see 2 red cards in 2 weeks that are permanent ones. Garbisi, who was kicking everything last week, is missing penalties. As I said, it's a pretty crazy game. And I'm wondering where all these points are going to come from, because I said I've seen the score. I know it's 32-14, but we're 10-3 at half-time. Second half starts with another Italian penalty. It's 10 points to 6. And then I feel like it's a clutch one not taken for Italy on 48 minutes, because they get themselves a 5-meter line-out chance, which, again, when you're playing against 14 men, you really need to take, and that they lost the ball. So you've had missed penalties in the first half. The dinking kicks through for the backs. Now it's a second half chance, again, not taken. You can only not take so many chances against South Africa before they're going to punish you. But that being said, it kept getting worse because Van Staden got himself yellow carded close to the line. Initially, I thought he was fine, but then I think the second camera angle shows he was off his feet, trying to pilfer the ball at the breakdown, not supporting his own body weight. So Italy took the 3. You're 15 against 13, and still a point behind, but it's 2-man advantage. What can Italy do with a 2-man advantage? Well, they go offside. So South Africa's able to score during the 2-man advantage, which is not what you want if you're Italian. But for the South Africans, why not take the 3? You get the lead extended, and you take to a minute off at least the yellow card. So reduce that time down. Then we get 14 against 13 when Lorenzo Cannone has an upright tackle. He needed to bend. It's way too upright. He gets himself in trouble. The crowd boos, but that's a yellow card all day long. So there should be a lot of extra space. We're 1 man away. We're 1 card away from it being a rugby league game. If the Italians have got 1 more guy off the field, we're pretty much playing rugby league here, but should be a lot of space. As I said, we did get a TMO call for Wilco Low going into a ruck, but the ref says there's no foul play. As I said, if that had been carded, we would have been 14-12, which would have been space everywhere, but not to be. From the resulting scrum, we get maybe my favourite try of the match. It's a close range attacking scrum. Morne van der Berg with the snipe. He beats a couple of Italian defenders. I mean, there's quite a few good halfbacks in South Africa at the moment in terms of like being able to snipe and attack, and van der Berg is one of them. I mean, both of the halfbacks get on the board, to be fair, but van der Berg's one. Beats 2 Italian defenders. It's the scrum pressure. Not many guys on the field, but yeah, 20 points to 9. That one is a proper cracker. Although Italy did get a try of their own. That one comes to Capuozzo. It's a nice try as well. It's attacking line-out play. Phases, they shift it left, they shift it right. That's also pretty nice. Capuozzo's got very good footwork, so that one was also pretty pleasing. They missed the conversion, though. Garbisi not having a great night with the tee. 14 points to 20. So with 10 minutes or even 9 minutes to go, this is still a 1-score game. And again, I know the scoreline is coming. When does it come? Well, it comes from Grant Williams. And this one's also a bit of a peach. Maybe I like this try more. I don't know. Wide ball to Kanan Moody. The hands in that one and the build-up are pretty nice. He cuts back inside. And his pass to find Grant Williams as a beaut, because there's a lot of Italian jerseys around there. But he gets it, and Grant Williams just puts his hammer down to go over for the line. So 27 points to 14, that's game. And then after a lot of South African defensive pressure, pushing the Italians back, the Italians have to take it back over their own line. Some scrums. We get a Libok dink through for Ethan Hooker. It's the icing on the cake one, try time, 32 points to 14. So in the end, as I say, not even close, despite the fact that there is a mismatch in players on the field for the vast majority of the game. Line breaks finish 4-3 to South Africa. Territory and possession's pretty even, which is unusual ones for the Italians, because they usually have a lot less possession, but again, they had an extra man or 2 extra men on the field for a large period of the game. Turnovers conceded as 22-13 against South Africa, so if they'd coughed up less ball, they might have even got more points. Kicks from hand is pretty high, 34-33. I mean, Kane and Moody, 41 metres. Willems have beat 5 defenders. As I said, he was Mr. Everywhere at the back. Capuozzo, 38 metres and a try. Zuliani, a bunch of tackles. But, yeah, Van Staden was tackling the house down as well, despite getting carded. So, yeah, a very, very bizarre game. But the South Africans are getting pretty bloody good at beating teams by a pretty decent margin when they've had fewer players on the field. It's not what Rusty would have wanted. As I said, he had to make a whole heap of early substitutions, but it's a win. That's another win. So they go on. Their locking stocks are running pretty low with 2 guys, we'll see if Mostert gets suspended or how long his ban is or whatever, if they appeal it. But yeah, it is another week. I'm off to watch some more rugby. You guys take care of yourselves. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe if you want to see more rugby vids. There'll be more coming very shortly. Wales against Japan review. But anyway, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.